You know, I'm not usually one to flaunt my own personal exploits on the interwebs. I'm not the guy that goes out here on my videos saying, go watch this shit I did, go watch this shit, go watch, go watch. But the past couple of days, I've been working on 2 huge projects, and yeah, could you please go watch one of them, because that was kind of a time-consuming issue there. So yeah, and the other project is something that, sure we'll all enjoy. It's a long time coming. Hey everybody, Tekking101 here, here to review Bleach chapter number 586, entitled The Headless Star 5! Actually, you know what? I've been doing some very intricate analyzing in the past couple of days, okay? Based on every type of star that's been known in fiction and non-fiction alike, including whatever the fuck this thing is. But you know what I've come across? Stars don't have heads! The hell is your game, Kubo? Other than that, or it's some kind of weird symbolic thing that we've yet to understand completely yet, because we don't know the whole context of what he's exactly referring to when he says the Headless Star. Anyway, so we open up with the 6 Shinigami, Rukia, Renji, Shuhei, Byakuya, Yumachika, and Ikkaku staring down the 8 Sternritters as Ichigo goes to confront Yuha. Now, despite what we've seen last chapter, Basby at least shows a little bit of confidence in mathematics, at least on the kindergarten level, by realizing, hey, wait a second, there's not enough of you guys to fight one-on-one with us, because there's 6 Shinigami and 8 Sternritters. He then asks Colonel Sanders Quincy if any of them are the special war potentials, to which he replies that none of them are. Therefore, Basby decides, I ain't got time for you little shits. No, we already did it. We already did it for him. Whatever. We got crap to do today. All right, let's go. No, that's too much. That's too much. Although Basby does whip out a freaking awesome. No, okay, that's too much. That's too much. Although Basby does whip off a cross. Ain't nobody got time for. Okay, no, we already did it for him. That joke's starting to get old already. Although Basby does whip out a pretty kick-ass crossbow to shoot at the other Shinigami. Ugh, fucking posers. Before he has a chance to fire off a bolt, though, Ikkaku just appears in the freaking sky like a Tarzan yell. Like, bring it on, Quincy's! And it slams Hozokimaru into the ground, causing a fissure, which throws Basby off of his balance here. He then raises his crossbow to try to shoot Ikkaku, but then it's frozen by Rukia's Sode no Shirayuki. I'm assuming she's still using her basic Shikai abilities like Hakuren and the like. I mean, we didn't really get to see a lot of them when she was fighting against Asnod. She really just jumped right away to the whole temperature aspect, you know, absolute zero. She kind of abandoned the dances in that fight. Isn't that weird? The whole concept of her sword, Sode no Shirayuki, was based around, you know, the different dances, and then the last fight she was in, she didn't even use any of those techniques. So that was a little weird now thinking back. But anyway, yeah, she uses Hakuren to freeze it, and she states that, yeah, we told you you're not going anywhere. We weren't just, like, kidding around with that, you know. Basby then uses his ability to break up Rukia's ice, and I just want to stop right here to state something, okay? We're probably, I mean, we might get an awesome melee against all 6 versus 8, but given the, you know, the shonen mentality, this isn't even something that Kubo does particularly. It's a typical shonen cliche. Thought I retired that bit, didn't ya? That, you know, we have one-on-one sequential fights, or at least 2-on-1 sequential fights, alright? Now, from what we've seen in this chapter, we might get a melee, but, you know, we still might break it up into separate areas. Like, maybe the melee will clash together, and then we'll get sent to different sections. I don't freaking know. But, if that is the case, where we get separate fights, people on the internet this entire week are like, Basby's gonna fight against Rukia because he's the hot guy and she's the cool chick, and you get it because it makes... No, okay? I wanna say something to you guys right now, alright? I want you to sit down. Alright, sit down, and I just want to clarify something very strict to you, okay? I'm just gonna take off my time. I'm gonna be very, very casual about this. Okay, you sitting down? If Rukia fought against Basby, he would fuck her shit up from 15 different angles. And I know a lot of people might be saying, like, oh, wow, but Rukia's power might be even stronger than Toshiro's because Basby was able to defeat Toshiro, but Rukia is able to go to even colder temperatures than that. Okay, listen. Yeah, it might be possible that Rukia's Zanpakuto, which I've always referred to it as like a temperature-based sword instead of like an ice-based one, yeah, it might be able to reach temperatures lower than what Toshiro did. Here's the thing, though. Toshiro's Zanpakuto was way more versatile. It was way more suited to fighting because all he could do is he could spawn ice and, like, from a sword swing, he can, like, throw it at his enemy. It was much more easier to control and handle. Rukia's sword is much more freaking encumbering, you know? She has the dances that she used, which, once again, they're limited limiting her to specific abilities. Like with Hakuren, she has to shoot an ice wave, you know? She can't, like, control which direction it goes and zigzaggy shit like with Toshiro's Maru. And even if she goes into absolute zero mode and everything, she makes one wrong move. If Basby, you know, throws up a heat shield or some shit, which is probably something he's able to do, then, you know, Rukia could easily die. Once again, uses Bankai, one misstep, she could fucking die. And I think Basby's abilities are the perfect to counteract hers because, you know, he's the heat. That's the whole point of his powers. So yeah, Basby's not going to fight Rukia. I'm hanging in for the more Grimjow versus Basby fight myself, but I just want to throw that out there really quick. Anyway, so Loloto shows up against Basby and just states the obvious that, hey, we're not here to fight these little piss ants. We're here to fight Ichigo Kurosaki, and he's getting away. So what do you think? Are we just going to sit here and bicker? Are we all going to go volt standing, kick these bitches' ass, and then go after the main man, the Ichigo that we wanted to fight to begin with? So Basby, I guess he realizes, yeah, okay, you got a point there, you know, little munchkin, you know, we don't want him to get away, and these people are just going to be annoying to us. So they all go Super Saiyan, volt standing! Except for possibly Pepe, because we see wings and halos on every single one of the Sternritters in this panel, except for Nanana, because he's in the foreground. It's kind of hard to see. But then we see Pepe way in the background, and we don't see a halo over his head, nor do we see his wings. So, yeah, interesting thing here. Also, by the way, just a little note with Basby's volt standing. I'm still disappointed by it. I was still expecting the epic, you know, like flaming wings or some shit. And don't say that, you know, that's not the point of volt standing, because most volt standings looks the same. Look at Bambietta. Yeah, it had the same thing, like the halo and the wings, but it also kind of had her own special spin on it. It made her kind of look like a harpy sort of deal. So don't say like, oh, flaming wings are impossible for a volt standing. That shit can happen. But anyway, I'm bringing up that I think last chapter I referred to them like has rods coming out of his back. I think what they're more used for are like thrusters or like, you know, like something like to propel him forward, you know, kind of like that. Now that's the best thing I can think of because he's the heat. So both sides charge at each other. Pretty actually damn good chapter cover, if I have to say so myself. So we cut back over to Ichigo, who's heading toward the Silburn, or like the big tower of the Silburn that's overlooking the Vanente. Ah, so you've come, Ichigo Kurosaki. You're saying that like you're kind of surprised. What? No, I knew he was going to come. Okay, good, because you made an announcement to him. It's like, all right, I'm just saying. Well, yeah, well, I'm just saying, that you literally did not have to say anything to him, and we could be at the freaking Soul Palace already without any of this shit going down. Hashwald, I will straight up curb stomp your ass. Yeah, I know, just fine, I'll take care of him. But before Hashwolf can go and intercept Ichigo, a mysterious, shadowy figure appears behind him, ready to take to the stage. Ooh, I wonder who it could be. It's Uryu, because he's the only other person on that platform. Anyway, a giant fuck-off arrow slash spear slash javelin just gets hurled directly toward Ichigo. Oh, okay, now that's a freaking arrow. That's what I was expecting when I came down here. Ah, see, now that's fun. I don't know what it is, but there's always just some joy over me whenever I break up arrows with my sword. Just like that time I fought against Uryu. What the fuck? Aha, now, just a little callback here to everybody who was interested. Remember way back in chapter 555 when Ichigo was ready to leave the Soul Palace and each of the, the Zero Squad members were like, he's grown, he's become more mature, he's learned to deal with stuff a little bit better now. He doesn't freak out over things anymore. He just takes it at face value. And you know what? After I read that, I freaking knew. The second Ichigo ran into Uryu and saw him as a member of the Vanenreich, I knew that whole, taking stuff calm would be thrown right out of the freaking window. Now, granted, before his training in the Soul Palace, this exchange between Ichigo and Uryu would probably be a lot worse. Ichigo would probably, his brain would just, aneurysm immediately, and he would probably just pass out. But we still get a huge reaction over the top for it, and I know some of you might be saying, well, Tekking, he's learned to deal with stuff a little bit more maturely, but still, this is one of his best friends that he's fought aside as basically a comrade in arms for several years, and now he sees him on the enemy's camp. I mean, anybody, no matter how good you are at dealing with a situation, would be freaked out over that. But, we still see the same image of Ichigo we always see when he gets freaked out. The bags spontaneously just appear underneath his eyes like he hasn't slept in a week, and, he starts shaking and quivering. Ishido, why are you with Kurosaki? Just leave. But you're a Nazi now. Yeah, look, it's the outfit, okay? They're just cooler than the crap you're wearing. I mean, what is that? Really, seriously, that's hair and bones you're wearing? You see this outfit I'm wearing right now? 90% silk. Barely feel like it's on. This shit be ballin'. Anyway, so Uryu stays pretty calm through the entire exchange and just says to Ichigo, dude, no, okay, you can't beat Yuha. There's no use for you coming here. Just leave. Otherwise, you're just gonna get killed needlessly. Now, I would imagine Ichigo's not processing this at all, so he basically just reiterates the same sentence over and over again, which pretty much can be summed up to, what are you doing there? 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 Oh, crap. Oh, what the fuck is the... Oh, hey, Inoue and Shad. What are you doing there? Ah, so Orihime and Shad arrive on the scene via Garganta, sporting some pretty awesome new clothes, too. You know, I'm thinking maybe Kubo just wanted to do this big epic, you know, delay in seeing the characters just so he could redesign the clothing for them, because every character that's been showing up has been getting a new outfit recently. But I just want to... I mean, Shad's looks pretty cool. I mean, honestly, if they sold that in a store, I would buy that in a second. A little bit curious as to exactly how they got these outfits while in Hueco Mundo. Oh, actually, Tekking, I could explain that. You see, after the Quincy's completely leveled Lost Noches, we had to rebuild it, and, well, you see, it was a pretty expensive project, so we had to take some money from some local businesses, and, yeah, it's kind of a shopping mall now. Oh, okay, that's actually pretty damn cool. Oh yeah, that's pretty awesome. I mean, we're still waiting on Nike and everything, but so far we got a Cinnabon, so, you know, that's pretty kick-ass. Oh, and I'm kind of also obligatorily required to mention Orihime's outfit, because honestly, when I read this morning, I'm like, Chica, what the hell? Really, it looks like you really just fell in love with your outfit while you were in, when you were captured by Eyes, and, you know, with the frills on the shoulders and everything, and when you were ready to leave to the world of the living, you're like, oh, wow, hey, can I have an outfit that was kind of like that one, except exposing a lot more cleavage and midriff? Because, I mean, I don't know if Kubo was thinking like, this is the last arc of the series, probably the last costume change she's gonna get, might as well show off the tits. I mean, like, all the other outfits we've seen her in haven't really been showing that much cleavage or anything, so that's just a little bit weird. It's much more revealing for her. I mean, this is something like I could see Robin or Nami wearing from One Piece, you know, certainly not Orihime. I mean, I'm not complaining about it, I'm just bringing up, you know, a simple fact of her wardrobe so far in the series. But anyway, Uryu looks up at the sky and notices they've arrived, to which Yuha replies, "Let's go. Have you said your goodbyes?" "Yes." The fuck, are Urihime and Shad chop liver? I mean, you didn't necessarily say goodbye to Ichigo, but at least you talked to him. You didn't even spare a word for your other former friends. Anyway, Yuha states this will be the last chance they'll ever have. Uryu states that he was well aware of that fact. Ichigo pleads with him one more time to wait, but his cries fall on deaf ears as Yuha, Hashwalt, and Uryu disappear into a flash of light. That's the end of the chapter. I'm assuming that flash of light symbolizes that Yuha, Hashwolf, and Uryu got sent up to the Soul Palace in like a teleportation technique or some shit. I don't know. So, you know, a little bit confused exactly how that's going to play off up there because, yeah, disregarding Yuha, I'm pretty sure any member of the Zero Squad could take on at least Hashwolf and Uryu. But, you know, Yuha is going to be probably a different thing altogether. He's probably just going to storm into the Soul King and have a little chit-chat with him. You know, if that's really how they're going to do it, if they're just going to charge right into the palace. Knowing Yuha, he might just arrive on the scene being like, I want to talk to your master, you know, I don't know exactly what's going on here. So anyway, just regarding Uryu really quickly again, because we didn't get really a lot of what he was doing here, but this is like the first time, you know, that Uryu and Ichigo have been seeing each other while he's a member of the Vandenreich since like, well, the first time they've seen each other, period, since like chapter like 480 something, like 83, 84, that was like a good over 100 chapters ago, pretty much. Actually, it might have been exactly 100 chapters ago, thinking like 486, 586, might be. I'm not sure, I have to go back and check on that. But, you know, the vibe I got from Uryu here, how he just kind of started talking like to Ichigo, just like, just leave, Kurosaki, you're not going to win here, and just kind of like directing him. I mean, he fired shots at him, but I mean, it was nothing that he really think that could kill Ichigo. I'm sure he wasn't actually trying to kill him. The vibe I got off of Uryu here was that he is kind of on his own personal mission. He's on something that he needs to do by himself, and he knows that his friends would reject the notion if he just told them outright what he was doing, so he just left them in the dark completely and just went off to do it on his own. And it has to involve Katagiri. Whatever this is, I don't know exactly what his allegiances are, why he's doing this, what Yuha told him, but it has to involve Katagiri. Because we got that flashback with, you know, Isshin and Masaki, Ryukin and Katagiri. We got to learn all about those backstories. And right after that flashback was over, what is the first thing we saw after that flashback was over, after the whole Isshin and Ichigo thing was done? We cut over to the Vandenreich and saw Uryu as a member now. So, you know, it has to involve Katagiri in some way. Now, does Uryu know that Yuha was the one that killed Katagiri? Because if he does know, and Yuha maybe told him something different, like, oh, this is what really happened to your mother, you know, Uryu joining up with the Vandenreich would make sense to kind of maybe avenge his mother in some way. I mean, it's kind of like, imagine you live in, like, World War II Europe, and, you know, the Nazis and the SS, you know, raid your hometown and, like, kill a bunch of people, and they take your family hostage, and one of the officers come up to you and says, like, if you want to save your family, you have to join join up with us, boy, you know, the Nazis. And you go and do it, and all your friends are just like, Heinrich, what the hell? Just like, just leave, guys. Like, I need to do this. You know, that's actually a pretty apt analogy, actually, I think about it now, because, you know, Nazis are kind of a contrast to the Wandenreich in general. But, yeah, it's kind of like doing something like that. Like, Uryu could explain everything to Ichigo beforehand, maybe, possibly, like maybe left a note or something, but they wouldn't have been able to decipher exactly what, you know, Uryu's trying to go here, like all of his motives are. I don't think Kubo's going to play like the mind control thing here. I don't think it's going to be like Yuha hypnotized Uryu to fall to his side, like, come to the dark side, we have cookies. But because I think if he did that, if it really was a case of like hypnosis or some shit, then why wouldn't Yuha just make it so Uryu forgot about Ichigo, or that he views Ichigo as an enemy and actually try to attack him legitly instead of just saying goodbye, see ya, or, you know, just don't come here, just leave. And the whole thing that Yuha mentioned, you know, have you said your goodbyes, as if Yuha is aware that Ichigo and Uryu still had a tight friendship connection here, and maybe Yuha knows that Uryu's not, like, he didn't exactly abandon that friendship, it's just something that Uryu has to do, and his friends can't be involved in it at all. So that's what my thoughts are on the Uryu thing. Going back to to Orihime and Shad arriving on the scene, if the other members of the Hueco Mundo army are not, like, directly behind them in the Garganta, I'm gonna be pissed off, because there is no reason why Sado and Orihime head to the Seirete or Vandente by themselves, and nobody else is behind them, okay? That makes no goddamn sense. Alright, they were training together in that Ruins of Negal place, so you figure, when they're ready to go, I mean, Urahara was the exception. Urahara was kind of the exception that he went on ahead. You know, he was the exception there because he had to go to, you know, Mayori, and he had to drop off the hollow pills, and, you know, and he wasn't even in the same location that Chad and the others were training in. He was off developing the hollow pills and doing that weird thing with the Quincy pie, which actually the Quincy pie thing might have been the hollow pills, although I like to think it was something different just because, you know, maybe Urahara's got more tricks up his sleeve. But yeah, there's no reason that right in that Garganta behind Chad and Orihime there should be Grimjow, Gantenbein, Lolly, Menoli, maybe the Thrace Bestia, and all the other Orankars that are arriving on this fight. Maybe even they freed Hollybell or some shit. I don't know. Wait, was Hollybell in the Quincy Palace, or was she in... No, yeah, she was in the Quincy Palace. I don't think she's gonna be there. But, you know, there's no reason why they shouldn't just be having an army behind them. Now, for Ichigo, I don't know what he's gonna do, because he just, you know, he went to go fight Yuha, he disappeared, and, you know, Basby is being taken care of by, you know, Rukia and Byakuya and all the others back there, so I don't know if he's just gonna go over to where Chad and Orihime are and ask them what to do, or if he's gonna be like, ah, shit, I need to go up to the Soul Palace again, I just came down from there. Oh, I thought of a good one. Maybe now would be the time that the other Sternritters that we've yet to see yet just show up, because remember, even excluding, like, Colonel Sanders and Pepe and Shaz Domino, who we don't know the letters for, there's still, like, I think 3 that we haven't even seen yet, because there's C, L, M, N, W, and X. So there's 6. There's 6 letters that we don't know the powers to yet, or don't know the designation, and I like to think Shaz Domino was X, I like to think that Colonel Sanders was W, I'm just gonna throw in Pepe for M, for, like, maybe mind, mental control. That's not really, you know, going crazy with that theory, that's just to occupy a space. So that means there's 3, though. There's still 3 Sternritters we haven't seen, haven't heard of yet, don't know any inclination of their power. C's probably going to be one of them. I'd like to think C's going to be like the cold, because, you know, we have to have a thunder person in a group, we have to have a fire guy, we have to have probably like a wind guy, and a cold guy, an ice type. That's just how it goes. So maybe now those people will show up and confront Ichigo, or at least one of them will show up and confront Ichigo, and then maybe that's what's going to go down there. So, yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the review. It'll be Bleach chapter number 586, Tekking101, signing out. The hell? Huh. I'm thinking this is something important.